let's have a look at this particular piece. The diagram shown below represents a road network. So they are talking about a road network from all of these points. They've given a few cities at the vertices of this particular triangle and on this particular line as well. So those are named as these. So we will represent these cities by the letters M, O, G, W and L. Now another important thing that they've given you is that these are perpendicular roads over here. So this angle over here is 90 degree and this angle over here is also 90 degree. That is also given to you. Now there's an additional information given to you on each of these roads. So let's first replace these letters with these cities names with the letters, and these are the maximum permissible speeds given to you on each of these roads. So maximum permissible limit between M to O is 100 kilometers per hour, O to G is 25 kilometers per hour, G to W is 120, and so on and so forth. So that is given to you. Now there is a bit of data more given to you. It says that it takes 1 hour to reach O from M. Reach O from the point M. MO. What is the timing? It is 1 hour. And the maximum permissible limit is 100 kilometers per hour, and you are traveling with the maximum permissible limit over here. Consider a car always traveling at maximum permissible limit, always taking the shortest route. It takes 1 hour to reach from O to M given on the question. So let's see what kind of a data has been given to us. You are looking at on the route MO, they are saying 100 kilometers per hour, OG is 25 kilometers per hour, GW is 120, WL is 120, LM is also 120, and LO is 20 kilometers per hour. Maximum permissible speed limit is given to you. This particular data which is present over here, it says it takes 1 hour to reach O from the point M. So M to O, the time period is 1 hour. Similarly, it takes 2 hours to reach G from the point O. So O to G you are looking at 2 hours, and 45 minutes to reach from W from the point G. So GW, this distance is covered in 3/4 of an hour, which is 45 minutes. Now, when you know the speed and time, speed multiplied by time will give you distance. So let's calculate each of these distances first. So what will be the distance MO? 100 into 1, which is 100 kilometers. Similarly, 25 into 2 will give you 50, and 120 into 3/4 will give you 90 kilometers. So we now know the length of MO, OG and GW, right? Now, there are few more things that we can calculate. As mentioned earlier, MGW is a right angle triangle at W. That means you can apply Pythagoras theorem where you say MG square is equals to GW square plus WM square, correct? Now, we know the length of MG. Now, what is the length of MG? It will be MO plus OG. MO was 100 and OG was 50. So MG is the length that we already know. We also know the length of GW. We also know the length of GW, which is available over here as 90. Let's put it into this, and what do we get? We will get the value of MW square, which is 14,400, which effectively gives me the value of MW as 120. So this length from M to W turns out to be 120, right? Now, we need to find out the length of ML and LW. Now we need to understand the concept of similar triangles and apply it over here. If you look at the triangle MOL and MGW, one of the angle is common over here. One of the angle is 90 degree, correct? Then the third angle has to be equal. If the three angles are equal, then the two triangles are similar to each other. Now similar triangles have got the corresponding sides are in there in the ratios, right? So look at this. MO by OG will be equals to ML by LW. Now MO is something that we already know, which is 100. OG is also something that we know, which is 50. So it becomes the ratio of 2:1. So MW must also be in the ratio of 2:1, and we have already calculated the value of MW as 120. So if I divide MW into 3 parts, 2 parts will be ML and LW will be 1 part. So 120 divided by 3 will give you what? 40. So each of these part will be 40. ML will be 2 parts and LW will be 1 part. So 80 and 40 will be the length of LM and WL. So let me just put that in that table. It will become 40 and 80 over here. So this entire length of MW will turn out to be 120 and ML will be 80 and LW will be equals to 40. Now we need to find out the value of LO or OL, whatever. Now, once again, you will look at the similar triangles and you will realize MO by MG will be equals to OL by GW by the logic of similar triangles again. So MO by MG will be equals to OL by GW, and that is nothing but 100 by 150. MO was what? 100 and OG was what? 50, right? So MG will turn out to be what? 150. So this is the ratio that we are looking at. MO was what? 100. MG was 100 plus 50, which is 150. So it will be 2 by 3. OL by GW will turn out to be 2 by 3. So what will be OL? OL will turn out to be 2/3 of GW. And GW is something that we already know, which is 90. So 2/3 of 90 will give me the length of OL. So OL will then turn out to be 60. Let's fill in this table as well with a 60 as the length of LO. So this is the data that we have been able to calculate with the help of whatever was given to us, right? Now beyond this, specific questions need to be looked at to answer those questions. So let's move on to the first question that we have. T drove from point M to O, so it is going from M to O, followed by O to L, and then L to W. So M, O, O, L, L, W is the route that it is taking, always taking the shortest path. That means the direct distance between the two of these, straight line distance between these 2 points. He always drove at a speed 10 kilometers per hour below the maximum speed limit for the stretch he took. So in the stretch MO, he will be traveling with a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. In the stretch OL, it will be 10 kilometers per hour. And in the stretch LW, it will turn out to be 110 kilometers per hour, right? This will be the speed limit that we will be looking at, right? Now, what was his total driving time closest to, right? So what will be the driving time for MO? Time will be what? Distance upon speed. MO was what? 100, and driving at a speed 10 less than the maximum permissible limit. So 100 by 90 will turn out to be the time in hours for the first travel from M to O. What is the time taken for the second travel from O to L? OL is a distance of 60 kilometers and traveled at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. So it should turn out to be 6 hours as the second travel time. What is the travel time in the third part of the journey from L to W? If you look at L to W, it was 40 kilometers and traveled at a speed of 110 kilometers per hour. So 4 by 11 will turn out to be the value for this. When you add all of this, what you are going to get is 740 by 99. That will be 747 by 99. Now 7 complete hours is what you are looking at, and 47 by 99 is very close to a 0.5. 50 by 100 will be what? 0.5, right? It is 47 by 99, very close. So very close to a 30 minutes time limit is what we are looking at, and slightly lesser than 30 minutes. If you look at the options, you will realize 7 hours 28 minutes will turn out to be the answer for this particular question. Let's move on to the next question for this particular piece. There's a person M who starts from G, move towards the point O. So G to O is the first part of the journey that you are looking at. Driving at the maximum permissible speed, which is 25 kilometers per hour. We know the distance between OG is 50. That means it is going to take 2 hours for this person to come over here. This is what we already know when we are reading the first line of this question. From O, she drives at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour towards the point L. So from O to L is the journey that you are trying to travel, and you are going to travel at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. When M starts from G, V starts at the same time from L. So V is starting from the point L and moving towards O along the shortest path. So it is now moving along the shortest path, always driving at the maximum permissible speed. So this person V, who is starting from the point L, is moving at a speed of maximum permissible limit, which is 20 kilometers per hour. Now think about it. In the time period that M takes to travel the distance GO, which is going to be how much? 2 hours. What will be the distance covered by the person V in that same time period of 2 hours? That distance covered, because the person V who is starting from this particular point is traveling at 20 kilometers per hour, the distance covered will be 2 times of 20, which will be 40 kilometers. That means By the time the person M is reaching the point O, the person L would have covered 40 kilometers over here. Let's call this as 40 kilometers. Now both of them starts traveling towards each other, one traveling at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour and another traveling at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. This leftover distance can be figured out because the total distance of OL was 60. So this leftover distance that we are looking at from the point O to this particular point over here is going to be 20 kilometers, correct? Now if this distance turns out to be 20 kilometers, how much time it is going to take for both of them to meet each other? Both of them are moving in the opposite direction. Apply relative speed concept, 10 plus 20 will turn out to be 30. So it is going to take how much time? 20 by 30 hours. That means 2/3 of an hour it will take for them to meet. What are they asking you? If they don't stop anywhere, at what point will they meet? Let's look at that particular point. From the relative to the point O, sorry, it will be 2/3 hour of travel with a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. That means 20 by 3 kilometers from the point O moving southwards, which is 6.67 kilometers, which is present in the option choice, approximately 6.67 kilometers south of the point O. So the answer to this question will be option B. You can calculate the distance from the point L to this particular point as well of this meeting point, and that will turn out to be 40 kilometers already covered plus a distance traveled for 2/3 of an hour at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. If you add this, this will turn out to be 40 by 3, which is 13.33, and this will be 40. So it will be 53.33. I hope students should not get confused with this particular option, right? So let's move on to the next question of this particular piece. And it says that there is a capital city has been introduced over here, which is located at 40 kilometers south of the point G. So I am taking the capital city as C, which is at a distance of 40 kilometers from the point G southwards. This is 40. So now we already know the distance of GW. GW was the distance 90. So this distance present over here is turning out to be equals to 50, right? Now, this particular city did not have the connecting road from the point M, did not have the connecting road connecting to the point M. Now a new expressway is being built to connect these two towns by a straight road. So you are building a straight road from M to C. Now, if you look at this, prima facie, you know that I can calculate the distance of MC very easily. Why? Because this is a 90-degree angle and I know the distance of MW, and MW distance was 120 kilometers. MW was what? ML plus LW. So ML is over here, LW is over here, 40 plus 80 is 120. So this is 120, this is 150. I can calculate the value of MC square. MC square will be what? 50 square, which will be 2500, and 120 square, which will be 14400, right? If you look at this, it will turn out to be 16900, which turns out to be a square of 130. So what will be the value of MC? The distance will be 130 kilometers. So MC distance is something that we already know. Now let's go to the question what they are asking you. What should be the maximum speed limit allowed on this expressway connecting M to C so that it cuts down the travel time from M to C from the fastest possible route through the road network shown in the diagram by 20 minutes. So whatever was the fastest route previously, this particular route, you should design the maximum speed in such a way that it reduces the travel time by 20 minutes. So first we will have to figure out the fastest route possible from the point M to C in the existing diagram without the highway connecting M to C, right? Now, if you look at this distance is 120 and this is 50. Right? So 170 kilometers will be covered if I want to travel from M to W and then W to C. The another route possible was M to G and then G to C. It does not make sense to go from M to L, L to O, O to G and then come from G to C. It is going to increase your distance. So prima facie you have to take care of two distances and understand which one will be the shortest one, which one will be the fastest route. MW plus WC will turn out to be 170 kilometers. This is MG. which is going to be 150 kilometers, and G plus C will turn out to be 40 kilometers, which will turn out to be 190 kilometers. One, it is a longer distance. Second, if you look at the speeds, 125 and this particular speed of GC was 120, right? So in one route 125 and 120. In another route, all throughout you can travel with 120, which is again a higher speed. So shorter distance, higher speed will yield a lower time. So MW and WC should be the route, right? And the entire route will have 120 kilometers per hour as the highest possible speed with which it will travel, right? So what will be the time taken? Time taken will be distance upon speed, 170 kilometers, which is 120 plus 50. Divide that value by the speed 120. So it will turn out to be 17 by 12 hours, right? Multiply 17 by 12 into 60. It will give you the time period in minutes. Easier for me to calculate. 12 5 is 60 and 17 into 5 is what? 85 minutes. It is going to take 85 minutes with the fastest route. Now you have to decide the speed from M to C directly such that it reduces the time by 20 minutes. So that means the travel time now should be 85 minus 20, which is going to be what? 65 minutes. In 65 minutes, your travel distance MC should be 130 kilometers, right? So the distance is 130 kilometers. If you look at this, you will realize you will have to travel 2 kilometers per minute in that case, correct? Because 65 was in minutes, correct? So 2 kilometers per minute would imply what? 120 kilometers every hour, and hence option C, 120 kilometers per hour, should be the correct answer for this question.